Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to the Varsity Roundtable, a weekly look at high school sports in the Fox Valley area and the only live online high school sports talk show in the state. I'm Ricardo Arguello, part of the USA Today Network Wisconsin digital live stream team. We are here in an amazing high definition at the mothership, the Post Crescent, 222 West College Avenue, way up here on the 10th floor. We are this week proud to introduce a couple of guys from one of the three remaining playoff teams in the WIA football playoffs from the Appleton North Lightning. We have closest to my left here is Matthew Schecklman. Matthew, say hi to everyone. There we go. Right next to him, Will Schroeder, center and is it defensive line? I can say center and defensive line. So go ahead, Will. Say hi to everyone. There we go. Guys are on board to talk about the great season that they've been having there at the state semifinal level, one step away from Camp Randall. So the guys are going to talk about that whole great season that they've been having and also that matchup coming up this Friday at Titan Stadium against Franklin. But before we do that, I want to let everyone know that we are live and interactive. So if you have any questions, just log into that live chat, give yourself a name, and don't be putting any silly names now because we have Brett Christopherson over there behind the Dell computer. Hopefully he'll be able to weed those out. And don't forget about Jim Rosandick holding it down on the production end. But again, let's keep these questions about football. All right, ladies, I know it's hard to resist, but you can't be asking the guys out here for numbers, any of that kind of stuff. This ain't dating game or anything like that. You got to do that after the show on your own. So here, guys, we had that the first couple times we did this show. We had girls asking for numbers. That kind of stuff can't happen, guys. So you guys are on your own for that. But I want to start off with some introductions, okay? Now, we're going to start closest to my left. That's Matthew Schecklman. Matt, go ahead. This is when you kind of look at the main camera, let everyone know the position or positions you play and how you got into playing football. Go ahead.
So I'm Matthew Schecklman, senior quarterback at Appleton North, and I got into football as a young kid, just played Pop Warner, 3rd through 6th grade. So that's when I started playing football. Okay, all right. Will Schroeder, your turn. Let everyone know the position or positions that you play, again, and how you got into playing football.
Hi, my name is Will Schroeder. I'm a senior offensive and defensive lineman at Appleton North High School. And similar to Schecklman, I got into football at the Pop Warner level. I believe it was about 3rd grade, played to 6th grade until we entered our Chargers feeder program for Appleton North High School.
All right, great stuff. Again, if you have any questions, please log in. Get those questions right over to us. Brett will get those to either Will or Matthew. Look at them. They can't wait to answer these questions, guys, everyone out there. So please get those in here. Before I start, though, we got to pay a bill real quick, Brett. Hey. You like my shirt here? This is by Cooney's, or this is sponsored by Cooney's Embroidery and Sportswear. They customize products specifically to fit their customers' needs. Family owned for 20 years, and they have the skills and experience to customize your apparel and spread the word about your organization. So, hey, contact Cooney's Embroidery and Sportswear. Delivery service is available. Contact them today, 920-731-0922 or Cooney's 0922 at SBCglobal.net. All right, gentlemen. Look, let's get right to it. Let's talk about the great big win over Kimberly. First in 11 games. That spanned 9 years. I was at the last time you got the game. The last time you guys beat them. You know that. I mean, you guys were like what in 3rd or 4th grade? How long ago? That's a while ago. How big was the win? We're gonna start here with Matthew and go to Will on this. What was going through your mind as that set in? You guys had finally beat Kimberly. Not just that, you did it in a big playoff game.
Yeah, so it meant a lot to all of us. I know since like all the 4 years we've been here, they've always been the top dog in the conference, and growing up, like you said, last 9 years have always won. So it was really special to be a part of the team that did finally get to beat them, and then to have such like a big moment, round 3 playoff win was just added to the moment. So it was a really cool moment.
Yeah, Will, what was going through your mind there? Your fans all came down. Everyone was having a big old party down there. Did it mean that? How much did that mean to you? Was that maybe one of the bigger moments that you've had?
Yeah, I definitely feel like it was one of the bigger moments. I feel as if there was a lot of emotion behind that game within the team ourselves, and then also throughout like our fan base and our school community. I feel like in the regular season, we felt like we were really close to being able to take them down, and we feel like it was a game that kind of got away from us that we possibly should have been able to pull it out. However, we felt like if we got another chance at them, we'd be able to come out on top, and just being able to make that reality was something that was really exciting, and I feel like it meant a lot to both us as a team, being able to move on to the next level in the playoffs, and to our school and our fans as well.
That was Will Schroeder, Appleton North offensive and defensive lineman. Right next to him is his buddy, Matthew Schecklman, quarterback for Appleton North. If you have any questions, log into that live chat. Hey, Matthew, let's talk about the offense a little bit, okay? And then we'll have you chime in as well as an offensive lineman. But, Matthew, what I love about the North offense is that you guys are balanced. You can beat a defense in so many ways with your arm. You're throwing to pretty good receivers there. With her, is it Heron? Am I saying that right? Heron.
Yeah,
Heron. So you're throwing a Heron, and then you got obviously Martini at running back, kind of leading the way there. That great rushing game. How great is it for you to kind of orchestrate that whole offense? That's a lot of talent around you right now, Matthew. How do you like being in that position where you're kind of like, I don't want to say the facilitator, but in some ways that you are of a great offense, and you're kind of making sure it's running at a high level?
Yeah, so obviously I love this position I'm in. We got a great offense, really clicking really well, especially the last few weeks. But like you said, the balanced attack, I think it probably not the best, most fun to prepare for our offense because we can run the ball so well, throw the ball so well, and then I think we're a very balanced offense, so that's helpful.
Yeah, one of the big keys is the development of the offensive line. It's been coming. You saw that cohesiveness, and well, let's talk about that because the offensive line really has become a super big strength of the team. You're directly involved with that. How proud are you to see everyone functioning at a high level? Because it really does start in the trenches with you guys.
Yeah, I'm definitely really proud of the guys that I get to go out there and play with every Friday night. I feel like as the years progress, we've really come together as a unit and gelled with each other. We know where each other's they're going to be at, like when we come off of a block. And I feel like that's been really essential to our development in the offense overall and just as an offensive line unit in the last couple of weeks. I feel like as we get more comfortable, we'll only get better and better, and that means that our offense will continue to grow with us as well. Okay, great stuff. Brett, do you have anything from online? All right, guys, let's switch over to the cyber world because, you never know. Russia's checking in, China. Where are these questions, Brett? What do you got for us?
Well, I don't know, and I refuse to say any names anymore.
Okay,
so
all right.
I'm just going to go and say this is for Scheck, is what it says. Would you consider yourself a dual threat? I think you and I would, Ricardo.
I would consider you a dual threat. We've seen you hurt teams with your legs, but do you consider yourself that way?
I'd say I consider myself as a dual threat, but pass first guy.
Okay.
So I'd still, I'll just go with that. Pass first, but can still run.
Okay. All right. Great question. Brett, you have something else?
He's being
going on?
modest. He can hurt you with his legs, too. But
Yeah.
how about this from FVA fan for both guys? Do you think playing in the FVA has prepared you for big games like you'll be playing on Friday night? That's a
Whoa.
good question.
That's a great question because I know Brett and I, we consider the FVA one of the best leagues, in the state. We always, anytime we talk to other reporters, we're talking about, the FVA, man, that's a good league. Do you see it that way? We'll go to Matt and go over to Will after that.
Yeah, I'd say it's certainly a privilege to play in the FVA because you get such good competition each week. So it really prepares you for the playoffs, which I think advantage of the FVA gives you. So.
Okay. Will, anything to add to that?
Just kind of echoing what Schecklman said. Going into every Friday night, you're going to be going up against a quality opponent, and then that experience that you gain in the regular season going up against solid competition really shows in the postseason when you're able to really go back on what you experienced earlier in the season. You're able to apply it to situations that you may face in the big moments of the playoffs.
Yeah, did you have something else, Brett? No. Oh, no, okay. Let me talk real quick, and I kind of veer off a little bit on my script a little bit, but talk to me about Cal Martini, okay? I want to know this about Cal. This is a big old guy. He looks like he should be your tight end or something like that, or maybe one of your linemen, but where does he get those fleet feet? I mean, he runs. You see him running, you don't expect him to have, first off, that speed. The 64-yard catch, Brett, that you threw to him, you saw the speed there. It always kind of shocks me. Are you always kind of shocked at what you see from Cal Martini in some ways?
Yeah, so he's a very special player to have, especially with the size, like you said. But I think he's probably our fastest guy at our school. He's
Wow.
Our 4x1 last runner. So I think he would be the fastest guy at our school, and I think he weighs about 235. So he can really hurt a defense with his speed and between the tackles too.
Gotta be fun to block for someone like that, right? Well,
Yeah, it's definitely fun to block for him because, if you're able to give him a crease, he can take it to the house at any moment. And just going back to the offseason, he's a guy that lifts with the offensive line. He's always at our racks working out with us, and he pushes us to get better. We push him to get better. And then when you go out on the field and he's able to showcase that speed that he's got, it's kind of crazy to see just how powerful he is and how he's able to mix that in with the speed and athleticism that he also possesses.
let's talk about the offensive line a little bit if we can, Will. Now, it's a bit, you guys aren't showing up on the headlines. Let's be honest. You guys kind of toil in, I don't want to say in complete anonymity because your teammates know what you do and your coaches know what you do. But come on, you guys aren't usually in the pictures or anything. We talk about Schecklman's big passing days, Martini's 3 touchdowns. Do you like being in that kind of role where you guys are kind of doing the dirty work on the trenches, but you're also doing a great job of making everything happen for everybody else?
Yeah, as a cohesive unit, we definitely embrace the dirty work. We find joy in it, whether it be in practice or just on Friday nights. We know that the game kind of goes as we go. If we're not having a great game, the guys behind us can't perform as well, no matter how talented they are. So we feel like every Friday night we've got to continue to bring our best and step up our plays so that the offense is able to perform to the best of our capabilities.
But you guys give them love, right, Matt? I mean,
Oh, yeah.
Matthew, you
Oh, yeah.
can give them, right?
Yeah, we all know what they're capable of, what they do each week, and that we can't do what we do behind them without them. So we are very appreciative of our offensive line.
Good stuff. See, I always got to get the love back over to you guys. All right, Brett, you have something from online?
I have a few questions.
Okay.
This says anonymous, but Matthew might know.
Okay.
It's Pam. So
Okay.
you guys look pretty buff. How much can you hang clean? There we go. Weightlifting
Okay.
question.
How much can you hang clean? All right, go ahead.
All right, thanks, Mom. So I hang clean 300 pounds. So.
Okay, go ahead.
And then I clean 315.
Okay, wow, that's pretty good for a quarterback there. All right.
How about you, Ricardo? What do you do?
I don't even know what hand cleaning is, actually. I always clean my hands after I go to
There
the
we
bathroom.
go.
Is that
That's
what
the-
that is? Okay. Yeah, you got another question?
Yeah, another one. Who is the best offensive lineman, Will?
And do you have someone who answered that? Who asked that question, or does it
Just
say?
says Big Cheddar.
Okay.
Now, hopefully I didn't say something wrong there.
Okay, all right, go ahead. We'll go to Will on that.
Personally, I feel like that's not something I really want to answer, but like I feel like as a group we're just really dominant and that we work well together, and I feel like all of us we're just all really good players, and we've shown that every Friday night so far this season.
Okay, we'll have Matthew take a stab at that one.
Ooh.
So I'm with Will on that. I cannot give you one name to who's the best, but I say as an offensive line group, I'd like to consider them the best.
Okay, good stuff.
Well
Good answer.
said,
I love
yes.
this. Brett, you have something
Yeah,
else?
let's do a couple more. FVA fan again. How much of an advantage is it to have faced Franklin already this
Great
season?
question. That big game coming up Friday, and you guys are no strangers to Franklin. We'll start here with Matthew. Is that a good thing or bad thing that you guys kind of know what they're about, or would you rather have had it where you haven't played them before, I guess?
I was going to say it's a good thing because I think it eases the nerves a little bit of like you don't know what you're going to face. But so I think playing them, knowing like what they're about, very physical team. So I think it helps knowing like going into the game help ease the nerves.
Oh, interesting. Good. What's your take on that, Will?
Yeah, I agree with Schecklman. I feel like already going against them early on in the season, you kind of know how the game is going to play out, like how physical they're going to come out. We know they're going to be a fast team. They're going to be very competitive, and they're going to fight to the last minute, and we obviously experienced that in week 1. So just knowing what you're going to get when you're heading into a game, it makes it I feel like a little bit easier on the mind when you're going in because you don't have to worry about as much stuff. You don't have all these unknown variables that you've got to potentially account for when it comes to Friday night.
All right. Again, that was Will Schroeder, and then we got Matthew Schecklman here, both from Appleton North football. They're playing in a state semifinal in Division I against Franklin at Titan Stadium that we will live stream, Brett, 6:45 p.m. starting on Friday.
Yep.
Another question from online.
Did a live stream check out there today. Everything's ready to go. So
All right.
this is to Will from Amber. How do you think being coached by your dad has impacted the player you are today?
Ooh, great question. There you go, Will.
Yeah, so I feel like from an early age, I was just able to soak up everything that he's taught me. When I was really young, he always preached being extremely physical and just working as hard as you can at all moments. And I feel like that's something that I've really embraced and built upon as I've grown up. And I feel like it's definitely paying dividends. And I'm able to see that in my performance, whether it be in the weight room, off the field, in the classroom, or just on Friday nights. And I can kind of apply this to most of the guys on our team. I feel like my dad was able to coach them on, from an early age as well. We were all on similar Pop Warner teams and then the Chargers programs as well.
Okay.
And I feel like just hearing like the same message from a guy growing up, you all have the same mentality when you're able to work together and you're able to like have each other's backs, and like that's something that's been preached from us from a very early age. And I feel like just having that continuity in coaching is something that's been really important to us as we've developed as young children and in high school.
Wow, great answer. Great question. Brett, you have something else from online?
Lightning fan putting the guys on the spot.
Oh, boy.
Who is your favorite coach?
Think deeply about this, gentlemen. Now, this isn't our questions. That's
Maybe
coming
say
from
the
online.
head man, right?
Yeah. Favorite coach?
I guess I can go first. I'd just say one of them that's made like the biggest impacts on me would have to be Coach Paul Engen,
Okay.
just because he's a guy that has had so much experience, whether it be in the coaching world and just the world of football in general. He's been able to provide so much insight to our offensive line group, and he's just brought like the sense of knowledge. Whenever there's something that you may not have experienced, whether it be like just outside of football or in the world of football, you're always able to go to him and just he provides you with a bit of guidance, and that's something nice that I know all the guys have been able to like fall back upon, and he's just helped out a lot of guys even outside of our offensive line group.
All right, great stuff. Matthew, how about for you?
Yeah, so I obviously love all my coaches, but I'd say the one that I spend the most time with is Brian Morgan, our QB coach.
Okay.
So I'd say that would be my answer.
Okay, all right, great stuff. Good questions from online. Brett, did you say you had one more?
Yeah, this is a weird one. I'm just going to ask it from Big Cheddar again. Who has the best moves on the team? I'm not sure what that means.
Yeah, I don't
Maybe
know what
the
that
football moves, right?
All right, we'll start with Matthew on that and go to Will.
So I'd go with Bryce Carroll on that one. He's he's got some good moves.
Okay.
He's got some good tweets, too, in the middle of the
he
night.
does have
Yeah.
some good tweets. Go ahead, Will.
Yeah, I feel like Miguel Gents may have some nice dance moves as well. We had a dance competition, I believe, a couple weeks ago between the sophomores, juniors, and seniors, and he really showed out in that competition. So I feel like he has a right to claim that title.
All right, Brett, let me go with a couple questions here before we go to our halftime here. Playing for a program like Appleton North, certain expectations, right, you guys have going into the season. They're expected of you, expected of your performance on the field. You like having it be where there's a bar that's set, okay, that you guys are expected to contend for the conference title, also make a long run in the playoffs. Matthew, let's start with you here. Do you like having that kind of pressure on your shoulders?
I'd say I do, yes. I know pressure is a privilege, so I'm very grateful to play at a school that has such a good reputation of making the playoffs and going far and winning games. So I'd say I do enjoy the standards, yes.
All right, Will.
Yeah, I also enjoy the pressure because it means that you've worked for something and now there's expectations set that you have to meet. And I feel like that also can serve as motivation at times, because if you're going into a season and you know that there's a standard already set by the guys that have come before you, you want to kind of like raise your play up to that standard and potentially even set it even higher for the guys that come after you. And if you're able to leave a legacy, which is what I believe every class wants to do when they come into high school, that's something that's very important. And if you're able to just work and meet those expectations, it's a really great feeling.
Coach Rob Salm, what can you tell me about him? What can you tell me about Coach Rob Salm that maybe, I'm not telling you give me dirt, just maybe something people might not know. Go ahead. I'll have go to Will and then go to Matthew after that.
I feel like Coach Salm, he's a great coach. He's extremely motivated. I believe he wakes up at, I think it's at like 3 a.m.
Okay.
And he just likes to get after it no matter what it is. He loves his job. He loves just being around the guys, and we really embrace that because we know he cares about us, and that's something that it's just great to know that you have a head coach that always has your back no matter what, whether it's on the field or just in the classroom or in life. You've got a guy that's always going to be there for you, and he always pushes you to be the best.
Okay. Matthew?
Yeah, what was the question?
About Coach Rob
Sorry
Salm,
about
what can you tell me? What can you tell me about him?
He's a great coach. I know we all love him. He seems to love his players pretty well, too. Love playing for him. Something you might not know is that, like what Will said, he does wake up at probably about 3 a.m. every day, which is a little abnormal, but do what you do. But
Yeah, okay. All right, great stuff. Brett, I'm gonna take a timeout here. Run some ads, guys. We got to pay the bills, all right? So you guys just sit there and chill while I get this taken care of. First off, we for $1, Brett, for $1, we got a great deal on a digital subscription to the Post Crescent on all of our USA Today Network sites for the next 6 months. You can get all those benefits included with a digital subscription for just $1. It's not just the live streams and all the stuff that we do in the sports world. You get news, business, the buzz, very popular. Find out what about the latest on anything that's happening in the business world. We also have live entertainment reporters, all that stuff. Full access on your desktop, tablet, and mobile devices every day. Learn more details and sign up for a digital subscription at postcrescent.com/subscribe. Again, just for $1. Also want to let you guys know, first off, are you guys Packer fans? You guys both are. You guys both. I can't stand them. I'm a Bears fan. But I do co-host a Packers show every Monday night at 6:30 p.m. with that gentleman right there, Brett Christopherson. And then Jim Rosandick helps out on the production end. And our co-host for the season, Alan Lazard. You may have heard of him, Packers wide receiver. Great guy, by the way. The Lizard, we call him. This past week, who did we have on the big show? It was the Royce Newman.
Mm-hmm.
Royce Newman, the offensive lineman.
Right
He has
guard.
a heck of a mullet, guys. Heck of a mullet, let me tell you. But he was a great guest. Every Monday, 6:30 p.m., come on down to the Clubhouse Sports Grill that's inside the Paper Valley Hotel down there in downtown Appleton. It's a free show, again, Monday, 6:30 p.m. Every week you get to see Alan Lazard and whatever player that he brings on. We've had just all the Packer greats have been on the show, haven't they, Brett? We've had Randall Cobb, we've had Jordy Nelson, we've had Aaron Rodgers. All your top players, come on down. Monday, 6:30 p.m. It's free. Podcast. You guys listen to podcasts? Will?
Every once in a while.
How about our podcast, Matthew? R&B show?
I have not. But I
Okay,
do listen
but you
sometimes.
will, because every week we do an R&B show during the high school sports seasons. Actually, we just taped it early today, didn't we, Rosie? We taped our R&B show podcast. We specifically talked about the 3 area teams, including you, that are vying for state championship berths over at Camp Randall. So please check it out. You can go to iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play. Just look up the R&B show, and you'll get all of our predictions, all that kind of stuff. I know your coaches listen to us because they always got to let us know when we're right or when we're wrong, right, Brett? So give us a download, give us a subscription. Actually, it's free to subscribe to that R&B show podcast. Again, it's iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play. What else are we doing here? Oh, Twitter. Are you guys on Twitter? Will's on Twitter, right? You both are. You want to give out your Twitter accounts? You can if you want. Go ahead, Will.
I believe it's at Schroeder Will 74.
Okay, how about you, Matthew?
M Schecklman 12.
Okay, I'm at PC Ricardo. Brett's at PC Brettsy. Rosie's at Metal Rosie, actually. And I love Twitter. That's my favorite social media. So please follow me if you can, and all the guys that we just mentioned. And guys, last thing here, or one more thing before we talk about our live stream this Friday, but shout outs. Okay, end of the show. We're going to have you both do shout-outs. Think about who you're going to send some love to. Don't forget anybody, because then you'll get in the doghouse, and then you don't want to do that. So, and also our last promo, right, Brett, is our live stream this Friday, 6:45 p.m. We'll hopefully go live. That's at Titan Stadium. Again, Appleton North. We're covering these guys against Franklin, the big rematch going on, state semifinal with a berth to the state championship on the line. My next question, guys, before we go to online. Rituals and superstitions. You gentlemen have anything? Matthew, you got to do something specific for the game that you have to do? I don't know, listen to music or something like that?
So I actually don't have anything specific I do, but I just like to keep it the same. This is dating back to like baseball when I was a kid. But if we'd win the week before and whatever I did, I'd like to keep that the same. But if we'd lost, then I'd switch it up and kind of rely on that. But
So it's kind of like an evolving kind of ritual. How about for you, Will?
Kind of like Schecklman, I don't have anything specific that I do. The only thing that I could really point to is I like to wear the same shirt under my pads every single game. It's just like a comfort thing.
But you wash it in between.
Yeah, of course. I wash it every time. It's just I've got the same one that I wear. And then I feel like as a team, the only thing that we kind of do the same every week is we've got a team meal. And that's just something where we all get together, have some fun, and have some good food the night before a game.
Okay, great stuff. Brett, you have anything from online?
I do, but about the R&B show, I think everybody from Appleton North land will be very pleased with our predictions this coming week. Let's just put it out. Let's put it out there, right? So, Lightning fan wants to know for the guys, who's the funniest or biggest jokester?
Will, let's let you go first. Go ahead.
I feel like this one may go to Coach Rothbauer.
Okay.
He's one of the younger guys on the staff, as I played with him when I was a freshman. He was a senior.
Oh, Dan Rothbauer. Right?
Actually, Tim Rothbauer.
Tim Rothbauer.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
So he's come back, and he's definitely one of the coaches that a lot of the guys can joke around with because he's a bit younger, and a lot of the guys were around him when he was a senior. So
Gotcha.
There's kind of like a connection there, and you're just able to go back and forth with him, and it's pretty enjoyable.
Okay, Matthew.
I'd go with Coach Frank.
Okay. Brett, you have anything else?
Amber H, the teammate that you have learned the most from that has already graduated. Somebody's looking for some love, I think.
Yeah, I guess someone's hoping that you're going to say them, I'm guessing. So, Matthew, we'll start with you.
That's a good question. I'll go with Bo Burling from my sophomore year as a first-year starter, and him being a senior. He helped me a lot with confidence and kind of what to do. So I'd go with Bo Burling.
Okay. Will.
I'd say Carson Colby. He's a senior offensive lineman when I was coming in as a freshman. And when there were a couple of games when I had to go in there and start, it was just nice to have a guy that kind of took me under his wing and showed me what to do, and he kind of took care of me. And he was a guy that I just really looked up to in that first year as a freshman.
Great. Those are great questions from online, brother.
There's
Brett,
a few
you have
more
another
if we can get to them.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, a big cheddar again. What is Matthew's future job that you will try to get while you're at Northern Iowa?
Here we go.
I guess what you're going to major in, maybe we could start there.
Yeah, so I'm looking to be a business major there. So I don't really have a job sought up. I'd like the sports, so I like sports. So maybe a sports industry job after, but I'm going as a business major. So.
Okay. We'll keep on that kind of same thing. If I can ask real
Yeah.
quick, because that was going to be my next question, actually. Why was Northern Iowa the spot for you, if you want to expound on that?
So it was actually the first Division I school that I got offered from, and then I didn't do much looking after because I found what I liked. So within the location, the people, and the football facilities, found what I liked and wanted to commit then. So.
Okay. Will, are you looking at playing at maybe the next level? Anything going down the docket for you there?
Yeah, I definitely am looking to play at the next level. I've got a couple opportunities, and I'm just kind of working on narrowing them down right now and finding the spot that's the best for me, both academically and football-wise.
Okay. Great stuff. Good stuff from online. Brett, go ahead if you have something else.
Yeah, here's a good one from FEA fan. How much pride would you guys feel, or take, I guess, in knowing that you would be the first Appleton team to make it to a state championship game since 1993? I think Appleton Public School.
Public school.
And
Yes,
that was
public
coached
school.
by
And Coach Engen was the
Paul-
coach of that
Paul
Appleton
Engen,
West
yeah.
team. So what would that experience be like, do you think, for you, Will?
I feel like it would be a very prideful experience just because in the history of Appleton North, just more specifically, we know that no one's ever made it to the state championship game. And to be the first team to do that, I feel like that would be a very exciting event, and that would kind of set the standard for the program moving forward. Just like you were talking about, like the expectations that are set going into the season, just being able to set that mark and kind of leave our legacy, I feel like that's something that would be very, very exciting.
Okay. Matthew?
Yeah, I'd take a lot of pride in that because I remember, like you said, Coach Engen was one of the last state championships, and I remember hearing him say like traits and characters that were on those state championship teams, and just to have him talk about teams that were like 25 years old, maybe that could be talked about in 25 years. So that'd be a really cool experience.
Yeah, good answer. Brett, something else from online.
Let's go to Calvin. What's your favorite memory from Appleton North?
Oh, good stuff. We'll start here with Matthew and then go over to Will on that.
If you asked me a week ago, it would be the sophomore year win over Nina. I don't really remember specifically, but I remember that being a very good moment. And then, but since it happened, I'd say the Kimberly win is the most exciting thing.
How about for you, Will?
Kind of like Schecklman said, if you'd asked me a week ago, I'd say just our playoff run our sophomore year, just because I feel like a lot of people were doubting us and we didn't have a lot of expectations just because we had so many sophomores starting on that team that year. And just being able to make the run that we did, despite falling to Kimberly in the third round, I feel like we kind of put people on notice for what was going to come in the years to come. But now that we played last Friday, I'd have to say beating Kimberly to make it to round 4.
Okay, great stuff. Okay. Advice for younger athletes, and I think this is kind of a connecting thing here, because you talked about having the older guys kind of take you under the wing. Well, actually, you both did kind of. What would you give to some of these younger freshmen, or maybe even a middle schooler coming in, looking to play along the offensive line, or maybe at quarterback? We'll start over here with Will. What advice would you give to those young kids right now?
I feel like one thing that was really important to my development was finding a group of guys that have the same interests and same motivations and desires as you do.
Okay.
Because those are the guys that you want to be around, because they're going to push you to be at your best. And I feel like I definitely found that within a lot of the offensive line group, because they've pushed me both physically and like mentally to improve and just get stronger in a lot of aspects of life. And just finding those guys that are going to have your best interests like at heart is very important when you're entering high school.
Okay, great stuff. How about for you, Matthew?
Yeah, I'd say finding a good friend group is a huge thing, especially going into high school. Find friends that motivate you and have similar interests in you, but and then just play a lot of sports, play many sports if you want. Just try hard in sports. You don't have any regrets when you leave either.
Okay, great stuff. Brett, did you have something from online?
Here's a good one from Lightning fan. Let's talk about your defense, they say.
Okay.
Let's show them some love. So I guess let's
Yeah.
shift the conversation to the defensive
We can,
side.
and we can start with Will on that, because Will also plays along the defensive line, and I think that's something that you can easily see from game one, kind of to where you guys are now. The progress has been very, very tangible. You can see it, and they're playing at a high level and very confident, wouldn't you say? What can you describe the general feeling along with the defensive players?
Yeah, so I feel like at the beginning of the year, we had a lot of guys that were either young or just new to the position, with guys playing on both sides of the ball. And as the years progressed, I feel like we've gotten a lot more comfortable in our roles, and we're really understanding where each guy fits individually within the defense. And once you're able to understand your role, you're able to play much better off of each other and play with each other, because you know where each guy's going to be, and you know that if you just take care of your responsibility, there's going to be another guy that's going to be able to come in and clean it up. And at this point, I feel like we're very confident in our own personal abilities as well as the abilities of the guys next to us and behind us. So I feel like we're at a very, very good point at this part of the year and heading into our Friday night matchup.
All right, great stuff. Now it's time. I have one last thing before but we got to do shout-outs right now. Okay, so this is where you got to look at the cameras that we told you to look at before it all started. I'm going to start far or closest to my left here with Matthew. Matthew, go ahead, look in the camera, and send some love to people who got you where you are today. Go ahead.
So I'd like to shout out my family, especially my mom and dad. They supported me a lot through football and my journey. And then a couple coaches, I'd say Kurt Salm at North really helped me a lot. And then Brian Morgan, too. Spent a lot of time with him, and he's really helped me through the recruiting process and got me where I am today. So those are my shout.
Okay. Well, go ahead with your shout-outs. Send the love out to people who got you where you are today.
Yeah, I'd also like to send some love out to my parents and my brother, and then also to some of my coaches, Coach Sievert, Coach Paul Engen, and then Coach Cecil, my offensive coordinator, and then Coach Arsom, obviously my head coach. And then this year, I feel like Coach Heckel has been very impactful for me playing on the defensive side of the ball as well.
Okay. Well, I'm going to ask a final question. Brett, do we have – okay, let's do one more from online.
I think this is a good one for both from FEA fan. Thoughts on Miles Burkett? I think that's a fair
great
question.
Franklin quarterback going to UW. We all know. Talented guy. I've seen film of him. I did not see your first game, but I did see some later footage of him. We'll start here with his contemporary, with Matthew, if you can. Talk about him. And you guys are both great quarterbacks, but he obviously powers that Franklin offense, doesn't he?
Yeah, so he's a really good quarterback, obviously. He's a really nice guy. I've got a chance to talk to him a little bit after our first game, but he could throw the ball really well, runs the ball super well, too. I think, as what I've seen, progressed as a thrower, a passer a little bit more as his years has gone on, but he's a very good quarterback.
Let's talk to Will about this, because your job is to make sure that you tackle him and sack him. So what's that? What have you seen on film? You don't have to give anything away, believe me. I'm not looking for that. But what do you see on film, and kind of what's your expectations for you and the rest of the defense against him?
Yeah, I'm going to kind of echo what Schecklman said, but he's just a very, very talented quarterback. He's got a great arm. He's always able to burn you with your legs if you give him the opportunity. And just heading into this matchup, we know that he's going to be a very good player that we're going to have to be prepared to go up against.
Well, my final thing, let's talk about the Franklin game. I want you guys both to give me 3 keys, if you can, to maybe to get you to Camp Randall. What's it going to take? Give me 3 things that have to happen for you guys, if you could. We're going to start with Will and then end it with Matthew. So, Will, give me the 3 big keys that you guys got to do.
I feel like one of the main factors heading into this Friday matchup is we've just got to focus on ourselves and play within ourselves, because the second we try and do too much, I feel like we may burn ourselves. So that's one of the main factors. And then another one I'd say is we've just got to come out calm and collected. We can't let the moment get too big for us. We've just got to stay focused, because one thing Coach Salm always says is you're just trying to survive. So we've got to do everything that we can to play to our best and just ensure that we are able to make it to the next level.
Okay. How about for you, Matthew?
Yeah, so 3 things I'd say. Start with physicality. I think to win you need physicality. And then I think if we win the turnover margin, we'll be in a good spot. And then have long drives and win the time of possession.
All right, good stuff. Again, thank you both. Again, to Will Schroeder, Matthew Schecklman of Appleton North football. They're playing again this Friday at 7 o'clock against Franklin for a shot to get to Camp Randall in that Division I state championship game. You can catch that live as we start the live stream, 6:45 p.m. on postcrescent.com. I'll be on the call along with Brett Christopherson. Jim Rosandick will be bringing you those high-definition shots. So thank you again, gentlemen, for taking time out of your busy schedule. I know you guys are earning A's, all that stuff, 4.0 GPAs. So I thank you guys for coming onto the show and giving me some of your time. And best of luck on Friday. Hopefully you guys come out on the winning end, and we'll see you down at Camp Randall. Again, for Will Schroeder, Matthew Schecklman, I'm Ricardo Arguello. For Jim Rosandick and Brett Christopherson on the production end, thank you everyone for tuning in. Next week, we hope to have some maybe more football players on the big show, the Varsity Roundtable. You can find out who's going to be on the show early next week. Check it out on Twitter, on Facebook. We'll let you know either way who's going to be on the big show. Until then, everyone, have a great week. We'll see you back here next Wednesday for another episode of the Varsity Roundtable.